Welcome to today's episode of Profitable Impact. We're your hosts, Dr. Ashley and Dr. Michael Arn. We help experts and service-based entrepreneurs create predictable monthly recurring revenue on your terms. A lot of entrepreneurs and experts have told us that they want to have a profitable business without a massive amount of clients. We get that. So today, we're going to talk about how to do that, and I'm looking forward to it. Before we do that, we are going to talk about Thanksgiving.
Hey, one of our favorite topics.
Well, it's kind of interesting to think about how you and I both approach the holidays because you are an only child and I am from
I'm
a big
miracle.
family.
I'm a miracle baby.
Some might say.
Yeah.
And I am the actual baby of my family.
What are you? You're 8 and 12 years younger than your brothers?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a big family with lots of extended family. So we had loud, messy holidays. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Yeah. Lots of cooking, lots of
Messes,
people around,
lots of games,
lots of fun.
lots of conversation.
You guys had lots of fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what were your holidays like?
It was my parents and I, and that was it. Plus, we're Swiss, so we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. So what did you normally do on Thanksgiving?
We would make beef fondue.
Yum.
And what I loved about that is, so our holidays were like Thanksgiving, Christmas. Thanksgiving was quiet. We watched football. We're from Wisconsin, so we'd watch the games. We would make a beef fondue. And one of the things I love about beef fondue is my mom would make all these dips. So that's what I remember mainly around Thanksgiving. I remember watching football and eating beef fondue with a bunch of really good dips.
Yep. Well, we watched a lot of football too, but there were a lot of us, so there was a lot of yelling. There were football pools, so we were all arguing about who was going to win and who was going to earn the most money from the pools. And I feel like an average Thanksgiving Day calorie consumption was probably around 5K plus.
Well, and the other thing you guys do is you guys have like we would have one special meal in the day. You guys eat all day.
That is crazy when I think about it now. But yeah, there was
like it's not just a Thanksgiving meal. It's a breakfast. It's a lunch.
It's special breakfast, some kind of appetizers because everybody got hungry in between, and then a huge meal, and then you would eat second. Dessert. Then you would eat second dinner after that.
And I know in your family, individuals have their own pie.
Very true.
You don't just make one pie.
Well, nobody likes the same one. So, and everybody had to have their way. So we now we live in Wisconsin. I'm from California, and Michael doesn't have very much family. We have his dad. And so, and we have an only child. We have a son that's 13. So our holidays are quiet. And now we're kind of figuring out the balance of what do we do to blend traditions. We're figuring this out after 17 years of being married. No big deal.
Well, and like every once in a while, like this year, we're doing a Friendsgiving.
Yep.
And we've done that on and off in the past.
I think that's something for me that really kind of fulfills the loud, messy holiday vibe. And we typically
you're not looking for messy. I think you're looking for a lot of people, fun, conversation.
I just call that messy. When you mix a lot of people into one situation, a lot of different personalities, things get messy. Sometimes people argue, there's some kind of drama. One person drinks too much, it's just, that's kind of the way it goes.
Yeah.
But I like that lively, boisterous energy, but I don't want it constantly. So I think I like to have that with friends and then have a quieter holiday with family now. What do you think you like?
Yeah, I just like the quieter. Let's cook one special meal with a few things. And honestly, I just like being with you and Mason. I'm happy with that. But I do like a Friendsgiving.
And we're switching things up this year because you're going to primarily be doing the cooking.
Right.
Where normally I do.
Yeah.
So we'll have to tell you guys how this turns out. Will Michael's cooking be
Yeah. Normally
delicious?
my cooking is pretty good, but now literally yesterday I made a pizza dough that did not come out very well. So, I'm not batting 1,000. Okay.
We'll have to report back. But we want to hear how you like to spend your holidays. So jump into the Profitable Impact School community and tell us all about it. We're looking forward to hearing what you have to say. So let's jump right into our topic today. And we're going to talk about how can you have a profitable business without a massive amount of clients.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's hard to do. I think when most people think about scaling, and check in with yourself right now and see if this comes up for you, most people think scaling means more clients. It means more staff or hiring people to work with them for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think about that as the only path to more revenue or more money, more income ultimately. But what happens a lot of times is that people add more clients and ultimately add more people to help serve those clients a lot of time. And they might earn more revenue, but they do not profit any more than they were before.
Yeah.
So let's say before, just for easy numbers, they were earning 100 grand a month. And then now they're earning 200 grand a month as they've scaled. But what that it ends up costing them the same amount of money to run their business. So when they look at lead acquisition, when they look at having people to help them run the business, whether that's operationally or in terms of serving their clients, typically they end up walking away with the same amount of money, even if they are earning more.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. I think a lot of people, they think of scaling revenue or scaling the business in terms of getting more clients, hiring employees, doing more ads, which is all scaling expenses, right? Where when I think about it, I try to think of scaling profits and scaling joy in the business, either scaling profits or scaling joy in the business.
And I think one place where this became really challenging for people is during COVID.
Yeah.
Being a small business, being an expert or an entrepreneur, trying to run a smaller boutique or luxury business was very difficult. People were very worried about being able to get clients or having a mindset around people not being willing to spend money on luxury services like coaching or whatever
Yeah.
expertise that person may have.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because Ashley and I have now been through at least two very big economic challenging times, right? 2008 to 2010, and then COVID, right? And during COVID, a lot of entrepreneurs, experts, service based businesses went out of business. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, the economy did struggle and people struggled to get new clients, money. And a lot of times when an economy is contracting, clients are reticent to spend money. They're not, it's not as easy to enroll clients. It's not as easy. People aren't willing to just invest in things as they would when the economy is expanding, right? So during COVID, I remember Ashley and I were, we have a lot of friends and connections who are service-based experts and entrepreneurs. And so talking to them, talking to each other, we could really feel people, a sense of anxiety about, is my business going to survive this chapter of life, right? And a lot of people's didn't, right? If you had to rely on constantly getting new clients or on some sort of paid ads to constantly get new clients to pay the bills, you were probably going to go out of business during that time. What saved Ashley and I is we have what we call legacy clients, and we create legacy clients. And we'll explain that to you in a bit. But what got us through COVID was not getting hundreds or thousands of new clients, it was relying on our legacy clients.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a problem that um, if you have a business model where you're trying to get clients constantly, there's a number of issues that come up.
Hmm. Yeah. So if you are in a position where you have too many clients, your value actually goes down. It doesn't go up. And one of the reasons why is you have to water down what you're doing so that it can work for a large majority of people instead of being focused on helping a unique client solve a unique problem in the way that they need to be able to solve it for their life or their business.
Exactly. Anytime you're a business and you're catering to the masses, you're going to be watered down, and it's not going to be as impactful on a deep level. You're going to have a wide impact, but you're not going to have a deep impact. What we do is we get away from having a wide impact, and we just have a deep impact with a few legacy clients. So and that's one thing we want to get you out of the mindset of is we're not a Walmart, as experts and service-based entrepreneurs. We're not Walmart, we're not Amazon, we're not um some big company trying to sell $8 widgets to millions of people,
Mhm.
right? So we don't want to play the same game as that type of business.
Mhm. Yeah. And if you have too many clients, you're ultimately going to burn yourself out trying to serve them. And any solid founder or entrepreneur or expert knows that you can't lead yourself, your family, or your business when you're burned out. It's just not possible. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And so, your ability to strategize and problem solve and even provide the proper support or mentorship to your clients is going to pale in comparison to what you can do when you're just serving a few people at a really high level to lasting transformation.
Yeah. And the thing with that burnout is what happens, and I've seen this with people, is when you're trying to serve that many people, or you're trying to market and advertise and acquire that many clients, you get burned out to the fact that everyone you're now coming across just feels like a number to you. And you're no longer treating people as humans with, deep desires, deep problems that you're solving with and for them. And people just kind of become a number, a cog in this machine that you've got going on. And that's why you don't have that deep impact if you have this big business with a massive amount of clients.
And that number, unfortunately, has a dollar sign in front of it.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard. I think I say these things from a place of no judgment because I have seen so many talented, qualified experts and entrepreneurs land in the position that you just described, not because they don't have a heart to serve, but because they got themselves in over their head financially in their business. And a lot of that starts from having a mindset that your business can only look one way, which is why we're always supporting you creating a business on your terms that fits your life instead of doing what someone else is doing. Because ultimately, if you're not serving people in a way that is fulfilling for your life, it's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah. And the thing is, when your strategy and structure of your business is to need a lot of clients, then you always have to be out there finding and chasing new clients, right? And that eats up more and more of your time and energy as you go. And that really does lead to burnout, not enjoying your business, and also, like Ashley said, just kind of seeing people as like a number, as a dollar sign.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because I think that people think volume is the key. And they think to themselves, that it's easier to sell a low dollar, high volume product or service than it is to sell a service to a small number of people at a high dollar. And the reality of it is that it's just as hard to sell a service to a person at $250 as it is $5,000. because they require, when it's a service, when it's something that you're going to be doing with and for someone, it requires trust. So, a lot of times people are in that position where they're just chasing clients, and that leads to burnout because you're going to experience the same amount of rejection and no's that you experience if you're trying to sell a high ticket service.
Yeah.
So you're getting, if you're playing the volume game, you're getting a lot more no's. You're experiencing a lot more rejection. And then you start asking yourself, why won't this person buy my $18 product or $18 service? And your mind is blown because you're thinking, well, it should be so much easier to sell than if I'm charging someone $1,800.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case.
Correct. And, analogy for this for me is golf, because I'm a golfer. I love golfing. I grew up on the golf course. And so the way I golf is I take my time. I hit this shot right in front of me, and I try to hit it very solidly. And hopefully it goes pretty far. But I try to be present, take my time, hit a great shot, and hopefully it only takes me 3, 4, 5 shots per hole, right? Where most people, when I golf with them, they're panicking, they're in a hurry, they want to hit the shot. And a lot of times it's going to take them 2, 3 shots, but they're doing it quicker than my one shot, right? And that's the way I think about clients. I just want to have one client, serve them deeply, and take my time, be connected with them, see them as an actual human, really help them. And they receive the value of our work together, and I receive the value financially and also enjoy in working with that person. And that to me is worth, that one experience like that with one legacy client to me is worth 100 average clients.
Mm-hmm. So if you have too many clients, you actually limit your earning potential. More clients does not always equal more revenue. And in fact, it actually destroys the client experience for the reasons that we're talking about. You can only serve so many people to lasting transformation. But also, your business becomes fragile, not scalable, the more clients that you have, because it's reliant on you. It's reliant on you and your presence and you being there, on you wearing many hats, on you performing many tasks, on you serving so many people. And when you're not there, things break down.
Yeah.
So the more that you are required to be present in your business constantly, the more fragile it becomes and the less scalable it becomes.
And think about this. Let's say a worldwide pandemic is hitting, and you have a client, and they barely know you. You barely know them. They're just a number to you. You're just a number to them. You're just providing them some fun or interesting information. If a pandemic hits, that person's likely to move on and never talk to you again, and because they got their own life. You're not a big factor in their life. Now imagine a different reality of a legacy client. A worldwide pandemic is about to hit, and you're deeply connected to this person. They see you as one of their trusted advisors. When they think of challenges or problems in their life, you're one of the top 3, 4, 5 people in their life, in their mind, that they think about going to, right? They're like, I want to talk to Michael or Ashley right now because I trust them. They've helped me through a lot of other things. They're good in a crisis. They're good in, with challenges. And you're front and center in their mind. They're going to rely on you during those times, and they're going to want you by their side.
Right before this, actually, I was talking to a client that I've worked with for 8 years, and she said that I know her better than anyone in her life. And it's that consistent, stable presence of knowing that you can show up for someone. Knowing that you're going to show up for that person, that there's not judgment, that you're going to be able to help them solve anything that they're bringing to the doorstep at that moment.
Yeah. So that's when you create a legacy client, that's what they feel about you. They feel that you're their person. Ashley's my person romantically, right? she's my wife.
I hope so, or this would
She's
get awkward.
she's my best friend, my wife, like she's my person. But you can also have a person professionally or kind of like a mentor or someone who's there for you who's like your best cheerleader when times are great, like the person you want to tell when you've got good news, but they're also there for you when you have a challenge, when there's something you don't know how to solve, when you need to rely on someone. And that's a legacy client views you as one of those, top 2, 3, 4, 5 people in their lives. And this is why creating a legacy client is so important, because you can build a profitable and rewarding business without a lot of clients. You don't have to have 20,000 flaky followers. You don't need to have a big
Followers are the
following.
worst.
Right. A follower is the exact opposite of a legacy client, because they're just kind of
They're lurking.
they're interested, they're lurking, they're following you, maybe that, but when you can create a legacy client, then another, you're putting the profits of your business on a very solid foundation. So a legacy client is a person who's committed to working with you month after month for years.
And it's not that they have to make that decision.
No.
In the first week of working with you. It's something that grows and builds over time.
It's just that they start to see you as their person in this area of their life, right? And a legacy client is a person that you love working with, right? This can't be someone you despise working with.
That will not work out.
A legacy client is going to see you as like a trusted advisor.
Yeah, it's a partnership, right? It's not you being above them, dictating things down to them. It is a partnership. You are walking with them side by side.
And typically they're not there for one specific issue. Now, they may come to you originally for a specific challenge or issue, but over time, they start to trust you, and you become, again, like a trusted advisor or sort of a sounding board on many things in their life.
And I have seen for our coaches and clients that train with us, one of the things that they have a really hard time wrapping their mind around is how they can continue to serve their clients. And that's something that we really help our clients figure out, because so many people think, well, let's say that you're a financial coach, for example. They think to themselves like, well, we created a budget and we organized their finances. What's next? Right? There's so many steps from what's next. In fact, that person may have already organized their finances before or had a budget before a million times over, but it didn't last. And why didn't it last? What really got in the way of that? And so a big part of having a legacy client is understanding and expecting that you can serve this person through several phases of their life or their business, whatever is coming next. And so most of the time people are thinking in a short-sighted way about this. Well, I can only help people solve this one problem. I can only help someone do this very specific thing. And that's likely not true, because there's so many pieces to that puzzle and to really solving a problem and having the change last.
And the beauty is, when you have a legacy client, you know each other so deeply, you actually develop a shorthand way of working with each other and communicating. So you can get right to the heart of their challenges very quickly. So I've experienced this many times with legacy clients where, we've worked on different things together. We almost have a shorthand way of talking to each other or calling BS on each other, or if we can tell if someone's avoiding something or they're not quite saying what they really want, or, there's some excuse in there, or they're avoiding something. When you have a legacy client, you can get right to the heart of these things because you know each other on that level. Mm-hmm. So that means they actually get results way quicker than if they started with someone new and had to develop this with someone. Mm-hmm. So when we think about it, if you want to put your business on the most solid foundation you could think of, and if you want to create predictable monthly recurring revenue that is profits, that is profits. It's not just expanding how much comes in. It's actually what profits are you bringing in. It starts with one legacy client, then two, then five, then 10, and a few more, and you can design any lifestyle you want.
So today's the day to get a legacy client. We're actually going to go deeper into this inside the Profitable Impact School community this week. So if you haven't joined us there yet, come do that. We're also personally auditing our community members' current offers so we can show them exactly where they're leaving recurring revenue on the table and how to fix it. This is something that we only do inside of the community, so come join us there. And that's it for this week on Profitable Impact. Remember, you can create predictable recurring revenue on your terms. You can do it your way. Next week, we're going to talk about how to get clients by Christmas and beyond. That's something that a lot of people have a hard time with this time of year, and we're going to help you solve it. So until then, come hang out with us in the Profitable Impact School community. Grab your exclusive offer audit and fill us in on how you like to celebrate your holidays. We can't wait to hear.